Well, the rain is falling here at Burnaby Road. Welcome to the Challenge Cup second round. It's lovely rugby league weather as the Royal Navy host a one-time winner of this competition, Workington Town. Now, the Navy had to get through round one to get here. Murfield up in Yorkshire, and it was cold, but they got through. Let's see the best of the action from last week. So with the carrot of Leigh Leopards waiting potentially in round 3, both sides have got a lot to motivate them today. Let's hear from both head coaches, starting with the Navy's head coach, Darren Bamford. Right, Darren Bamford, first of all, welcome back to the Challenge Cup after having to miss last week's game. You're back with the squad and a few players returning as well. What are you making of this in this weather as well?
It's great, and it's Rugby League weather. But yeah, we spoke about the weather coming in. It's a bit of a leveller. It's going to be a messy game today, but a lot going on in the middles, and we're more than up for that task today, especially in this weather. Yeah.
Talking about team news, no James Tilley today, unfortunately. He was quite a big figure for you last week in the comeback against Murfield, so I suppose he will actually be a big miss.
Yeah, it'll be a big miss, but the players that are in his position, with Rhys Joel at 9, he'll do exactly the same job that Tilley does, and that's guiding the lads around the field and getting us in the right areas, especially in these conditions as well. I think that what we lacked last week was our completion rate, and you don't win games with low completion rate, and that's the main thing we want to get away today is completing our sets and keeping us in that game. Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of people are looking to round 3 and Leigh Leopards, and that's taking a lot of attention. But actually, this is a really big test for the Royal Navy against a good team in Workington.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, I mean, every game in the Challenge Cup is a big test, and coming up against League One opposition in Workington only adds to that, and it also shows the lads where they can be at as well. More than quite a lot of our lads who can actually play League One, if not Championship rugby, and again, it's a big step up, and we're more than confident of coming up with a big result today.
Added pressure for you guys as well. No RAF left in the competition. Army dumped out yesterday. Royal Navy flying the flag now.
Yeah, flying the flag. So hopefully we'll keep flying that flag. And I mean, services rugby, yeah, it's getting better and better each year, and it only proves in September. And our end goal is September, and these games can only add to that. And we start building platforms towards September, and this is a perfect game to start building that platform.
Perfect. Thank you. Good luck. So, Jonty Gawley, head coach of Workington Town. The conditions are followed you down, I believe. The storm was up there as well. What are you expecting in today's game?
Well, obviously it's going to be a bit tighter game than what we expected because of the weather. We're going to have to adjust how we play to suit the conditions, and it's something that we're used to. It's typical Cumbrian weather this, so yeah, we just need to respect the ball a bit better than we did last week against Whitehaven and finish our sets well, and hopefully not give us many penalties away as well. So we need a reaction from last week, really.
And for the fans that are watching up there in Cumbria that will go and be watching this live stream, they've seen you guys play some pre-season games, but this is the first competitive outing, not just for you as head coach, but majority of the squad today. A new era, so to speak.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a new team. Some lads have stayed on from last year, and we fetched 12, 13 lads in. So yeah, we're still getting to grips with what my best team's going to be, and obviously this is the first competitive game with it being Challenge Cup, so it'll be interesting to see how they perform and see how there's 5 lads playing today who haven't played yet from long-term injuries and new signings, so it's all good for me because competition for places for if we get through this for the league game. If we don't, it's the 1895, which is another competitive game, so it'll be interesting to see how they go.
And what do you know about the Navy, Darren Bamford's side? You seen much footage or?
Not a lot really. Yeah, I watched what footage was on Facebook and that last week. A couple of big forwards there who carry well. I noticed James Tilley was playing last week. I'm not sure if he's playing today. James played a bit wide end for quite a bit. He was a decent player, but I believe they fetched a couple of lads in from last week who didn't play. So I think there's 4 or 5 new faces this week for the Navy as well. So obviously, I understand it's a real big game for them. It's the furthest to be in the Challenge Cup, and the carrot of Leigh in the next round for the winner, I suppose the Navy's going to be for this as well, so it'll be a real interesting game.
Lovely, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, that was the view from both coaches then, who clearly see that the weather and the pitch are going to be an impact maker today in the Challenge Cup. Second round then, and it is the Royal Navy hosting Workington Town, and I'm pleased to say, joining me for commentary, we've got a Cumbrian Rugby League genius, we're going to call you, Callum Linford, joining me, just to give us a Workington Town point of view as well, because unfortunately we don't get to see them play very often.
No, and it's been a long trip down, but hopefully it's going to be worth it. And as you say, a massive leveller this afternoon, the weather and the pitch, but hopefully still a good spectacle.
Well, as you can see, Workington are just getting their last warm-ups in. We were we thought they were going to head back into the changing room and all come out together, but it looks like Workington are getting every last moment they can on the pitch, which actually probably is quite smart, just to really feel where to play on the pitch in terms of which corner is better and all of this.
Well, it's probably beneficial as well, down to the fact that they set off yesterday at 9:30 in the morning and didn't arrive here until 8 o'clock last night. So it's probably trying to get a lot of the legginess out of them as well, and just get a feel, as you say, for the pitch itself in general.
Well, we are not expecting any VIP presentations. I believe there was a couple planned, but with the weather, clearly that is not going to happen this afternoon. But we are expecting the Royal Navy to head out very, very shortly. This is the Challenge Cup second round, and of course, Leigh Leopards waiting in round 3 for the winner is a big carrot, so to speak, for the winner. I know that's what Workington might be looking at the moment. I'm sure they're expecting a really tough test from the Royal Navy, but it's a game that they'll feel they should win and probably get to Leigh Leopards in round 3.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't see a side coached by Jonty Gawley looking past the game they're playing. You look at most of his matches and most of his post-match commentaries, even when he was at Whitehaven previously, and he always used to say, you take your game on game and you've got to respect the opposition. It certainly won't be an easy match. The fitness of the Royal Navy and the way they play will be an interesting opening quarter for sure. But hopefully, as you say, they can get over the line, and if they do that, then it's the 2023 Challenge Cup winners at the Fibrous Community Stadium, and an old foe in Derek Beaumont and the Leigh Leopards, formerly the Centurions.
Absolutely, and of course, for anyone who doesn't know, maybe joining in for a Challenge Cup game for the first time, Workington are winners of this competition way back in 1952.
Yeah, and 3-time finalist as well, losing out to Featherstone, beating Featherstone, losing out to Barrow and Wigan in the process in the other 2 finals as well. So it's a competition that's steeped in history across the game, and hopefully there's some more this season along the line.
And for the Royal Navy, you can guarantee that motivation, the motivation will be there, particularly after a 2024 that probably disappointed Darren Bamford's team in reigning inter-services champions going into the competition in September, when the RAF took the title from them, and the win here at Burnaby Road was super important in that one. And actually, what usually is quite a fortress for the Royal Navy faltered in 2024. 2 games at Burnaby Road, 2 defeats, one in the Challenge Cup to Thatto Heath, and the other to the RAF in September, as we said, as my notes fly everywhere. The wind is picking up here at Burnaby Road, which will also be quite the leveller. It looks like both teams will be coming out together very shortly. Probably a slight delay as no presentations are planned. And we will just wait for a moment before we get underway in the Challenge Cup. We're very pleased to bring you live coverage of this one, as the Navy are the only military team left as well, after we can confirm the Army were beaten yesterday in London by West Warriors. So a difficult afternoon for the Army yesterday. This has the makings of potentially a difficult afternoon for the Royal Navy too, or, to flip it the other way, a really glorious one if they as underdogs can pull something off.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see, are the Navy a force to be reckoned with this afternoon or not. And as you say, the weather as well, it won't help anybody. And you look across the way there towards HMS Terramire, and the wind is such that the corner flags are going across there on that fast. And
they are having trouble holding on, aren't they? Well, while we're holding on for the 2 teams, let's run through them, shall we? These are the 2 teams that we've got, and we'll start with the Royal Navy. And one of the big things for Darren Bamford's team is no James Tilley this afternoon. Unfortunately, he's unable to play, unavailable to be here this weekend. He was brilliant last week against Murfield, but no James Tilley. So 3 changes from the team against Murfield. No Tilley, as we say. No Charlie Mattison either. Harry Stoppard, who made his debut for the Navy, drops out to the bench. In come Brodie Butler, the captain for the Royal Navy today, as he was in the inter-services last year, Jack Bartlett and Kinney Dakaliga as well. Special shout out for Reece Joel, who was impressive with the boot. 2 tries against Murfield. 8 of this team started against the British Army. Moving on to Workington then, and it is debuts galore. Competitively anyway. I know they've had some pre-season friendlies, but competitive debut for Workington Town, for everybody in the squad, including the head coach, as we said. And there are some real talent in there. I want to just point out a special shout out for the 2 Australian boys that have signed over, Cooper Howlett, and Levi Atiga. They must be loving this UK weather.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll be quite honest. What they said to me before when we were coming in was, when are you going to give me a bit of sunshine? But we can offer lots in West Cumbria, but sunshine quite often isn't there, and it is quite cold even for the northerners this afternoon on the south coast. So again, be interesting to see, as it looks as though Town are kicking off towards HMS Terramyard, and it will be the boot of Zarin Gala that gets the West Cumbrians underway, and it bounces well as the Navy now look to take it off backfield, but met well there by Jake Bradley, Cooper Howlett, and believe that is Kieran Walker there, formerly of Seaton Rangers, the 2023 Young Player of the Year for League One.
Well, the Navy then looking to get a hold of the ball, and really these first important touches for the Navy just to settle any nerves, playing against a really well-drilled Workington Town team, you would expect.
Yeah, well, you're always wanting to get your first sort of 5 sets in D and attack flawless effectively, as you see now the Navy going down the middle towards the centre of the field. Last tackle it is, and it's a kick from their own 40.
Reece Joel finds the kick and finds the side. That's just what the Navy need. Good position for them to be in.
Yeah, it's a good early set there from the Royal Navy. They had Town working well, and the turnover there on the 20-metre line. And it'll be interesting to see now how Johnny Gawley's side navigate the early wind there, as Johnny Hutton has to really reach for that one, and that just shows you the wind strength on the pitch. It's strong enough at the back here. Then Corkill, the second man in. 3 in the tackle low there for the Navy.
A game all about conversion rates at this point as well, with the making sure you're getting your set in. That's what the Royal Navy are targeting at the start of this game, making sure that they're.
Oh, there's a break there from Howlett, but he's well stopped.
The Workington Town then in their pink, driving forward. That was Zarin Galia going down. A lofted kick forward, just chipped onwards, something for the Navy to deal with.
Yeah, and there's Dominic Weir, the second of the half-backs, and Guy Graham. And that's a good set there from the Navy, to be fair. Town having to make the hard yards, and the Navy have faced up well. And I think that's going to be, as I said before, I think that's going to be the story of the opening quarter, at least. You know, the feel-out process and the run there, though, as the Navy are going towards that touchline.
Big afternoon for Reece Joel, who is taking up a different role, so to speak, for the Navy today with no James Tilley. He's going to be the architect of any sort of attack. And the Navy just struggling really to get any yards here.
Yeah, I think they've put the squeeze on a little bit at the moment of the visitors. They seem to be up for this one. It is the last, and they're inside still the 20 of the Navy, so be interesting to see where this kick goes though from Joel, and it's gone straight down the middle to Gala.
Yeah, not the best kick, as you see splashing around in the puddles.
Yeah, it's like a kid in the mud, isn't it?
I'm sure there's a few of these players out there that are actually going to really enjoy this afternoon.
Oh, definitely. As Atiga now looks for the gap, he's got half a gap and takes 3 to stop the Australian importer Stevie Scully. It's his first game this season, the testimonial
no
year for
pre-season
Town.
game at all for Scully.
No, he'd missed out at Barrow and wasn't selected against Whitehaven in the Ike Southwood, but instant impact there from the Town captain there this afternoon, who is in his testimonial season at Fibers Stadium. Shift player, if they can use it. Gale has got a gap. Brilliant tackle there from the Navy. That is ball and all.
Last ditch from the Navy as Workington try and force a way through. It's been dropped down. It's got to go up.
Now then.
Knocked on, maybe?
Yeah, Scully there. It looks as if he's knocked it into Guy Graham. And that is a let-off there for the Navy, but it just to show you there what it is.
We talk about the weather and the pitch being an equaliser. That bounce just kind of bailed the Navy out a little bit there early on.
Yeah, I think looking at the screen there, I think there's a little bit of water in the on the in-goal line, and I think that's potentially what's happened. I think it's got stuck in the mud part and the phrase in there. But
way through. It's been dropped
again,
down.
Town get the ball back, so it's been a knock-on from the Navy, and they're in on this far-stand side. It's Johnny Hutton, and just as easy as that.
Brilliant from Workington, and that is the start that they needed. Really, a team looking to gel, and they've gelled immediately in the opening. And as you say, Johnny Hutton, as I'm sure he prefers to be called, gets Workington a 4-point advantage.
Yeah, it is Sunday, but Christian name at bay there for Johnny. He'll have done nothing wrong just yet, so we'll abide by that one. But yeah, no, and you just see the way the weather's picking up there, the wind going across the pitch. I mean, the 40-metre marker there just ended up on the halfway line, so this kick...
We're hoping our cameras don't follow it as well, by the way. You'll see a little bit of a shake. Kick then.
And I think there, Kieran Walker it's kicking this afternoon on that stand side. I'm not too sure what happened there, though, to be honest, Kyle, because I thought that it was a double knock-on from Workington, so the referee gave the scrum to us, so little do we know.
Difficult to see from our position, but as you say, they'll take any points that come their way, of course. Kieran Walker then to add the 2.
It's got the distance, but it's gone the other side of the post.
I don't think he quite connected how he wanted to. I think the ball might have shifted with the wind, and again, the weather playing a havoc, and Workington do not add the 2, only the 4-point advantage. So, for the Navy, not the start they were looking for. They knew the talent that Workington have, but an early try from Workington means the Navy have it all to do. But this is the band of brothers for a reason. They do not give up lightly. They had to come from behind against Murfield last week, and for a long part of that game, it looked like they were going to be out of the competition. They weren't at their best, really, the Royal Navy last week, but they hung on in there, and they managed to pull out the result. So, if Workington think this is done, it is far from.
And, you know, fair play to the Navy there. They didn't do an awful lot wrong at all. They've been in the game since it's kicked off, as it goes deep there to Gaylor, and it's going to be Guy Graham that carries it off the back fence, and Town are up to their own 20 now. So a good start then from the visitors as look to the short side play, and it's Cam Barnes, the former Wigan Academy man there.
I will like to point out that we were told Workington were going to be in purple today. That is much more of a pink than a purple.
Yeah, I'll be honest, that's a shocking pink to me, and that's the first offence there for the Navy of lying on. And Will Evans, if he didn't want the cold of the Portsmouth pitch, has got it from a fortnight since of being in the heat of Australia. He's now in the wet of South Sea, so welcome to England, Will Evans. Nothing he'll not be used to, though, being a former Whitehaven man and witness player there, Evans, as we're just waiting for the ball to be sourced.
And I think it nearly took out Keith Umpleby in the stand.
We can't be having that as Barnes is first off the carry. Still going is Barnes, makes 5 metres forward there, and there's a potential there for another 6 again, but they're looking to fetch this towards the HMS Terramire end of the ground with Bradley. Centre field now with Scully. Looking for the pop-off there, but a brilliant defensive read from the Royal Navy.
That's Dave Brown there, thumping down Scully.
Yeah, the head rock
big men colliding.
Dorden then from this dummy half position, he goes
just momentum stopped for a moment there, actually, for Workington.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, as I say, that they wanted a quicker play of the ball, but the way the weather's been, you've got to just sort of up your jumper stuff, and there's a neat little kick
That's
through there,
lovely.
and that's Cooper Howlett in again. That's his second try in 3 games for the Australian second row forward.
Well, there we go. Workington grabbed their second try of the day. And it's not the start that Darren Bamford and the Royal Navy were looking for.
No, I can
Credit to Workington. They have been on the ball from the first whistle.
And I think, to be quite honest with you, I think that's what they needed to be. The complacency, you can't afford it, wherever you're playing at in the game, whether it's an amateur side, whether it's a Super League side, or or even sort of an anomaly like the Forces. It's got to be as if you're playing at the top end of your game.
Well, Kieran Walker will get another go at it, with the University of Portsmouth behind him. The posts are shaking, the ball is shaking.
And the hands are also
The
shaking.
hands are probably shaking. Can Kieran Walker keep his composure and add the 2 more points?
Yes.
Much.
No?
Well, it looked from our distance like it was much better, but actually the flags were waved low, and again, the conversion not taken. So Workington 2 tries up, 8 points up, but couldn't get to 10 or 12. So 8-0 for the Navy to hunt down.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see, especially how the second half pans out, because the sticks towards the University of Portsmouth there seem a lot less.
Well, the wind is picking up. You can hear it just swirling around this stand here at Burnaby Road. So I can imagine it's even worse on the pitch, although Joel's got some distance on that.
That's gone to Dom Weir, the son of Workington legend Stephen Weir there, and Town again in the first tackle their own 20, and it is Guy Graham off the back fence. Atiga now takes 4 with him.
The Navy quick in with the challenge, as you expect. The passion is there for sure.
Short side play with Barnes, and again, good tackle this set from the Navy. They're getting a bit more purchase from their efforts this time round as Bradley goes towards centre field. Halfway through the tackle count, and Town are just over halfway.
Brodie Butler nipping at the heels, making sure he stays down, and the kick. Actually, there's a few chasing this, and the Navy have to be careful here. Atiga is the closest Workington player.
Yeah, that's a brilliant effort there from the Navy to defuse that situation. I think Town there, in all honesty, got away with one, because I think Bradley had dropped that ball in the act of playing it, but as it is, it was play on, and the Navy now then are going to come off their own back fence this afternoon, and anybody that is late on 2 scores in it, it is 8 points to 0 to the visiting side.
You just feel like the Navy need to get a foothold of this, as Brodie Butler definitely didn't get a foothold of the pitch there as well.
And that's a knock on as well.
Unfortunate, actually, he'd lost his balance already.
Yeah, it's a shame that, because the kick from Doran that started that defensive effort off from Workington was fantastic, and the Navy there, they just couldn't get any purchase off the back line. It was just as if they were slipping and sliding a bit much there.
Bit of an ice rink.
Yeah.
And I know Brodie Butler will be absolutely distraught with himself if this leads to something for Workington, who are in a good position here.
And it's out to Gala then. Will Evans. Atiga, is he getting his first try? He's not, but he's managed to keep it into play to Evans, and despite the groans from the crowd there that it had gone out, can't really see from this angle, as Barnes then comes towards centre field. He's going to take a settler in for Workington now, 5 metres off the Navy's try line. Going to be Kieran Walker. Neat little ding kick through, and it's going to be Cooper Howlett to try and get a second, but it's a boot from the Navy, and it will be the first goal line dropout of the afternoon.
Yeah, I think that might have even been Ben Connor. Just actually was quite smart about it. They've been in a difficult position. Some players would have picked the ball up and tried to play, but actually safe hands, or safe feet, so to speak. And the Navy will try and get some yards here. That's not the best kick even from Joel, who couldn't get any purchase on it, and
it's not actually come off too bad. It's reached the halfway line, so it's not come too bad. As Guy Graham, though, the former Whitehaven and Carlisle Rugby Union man there, brought down.
Feels like one-way traffic at the moment. Pink flying forward everywhere you can see.
Scorley there, well met though by the Navy, and 25 out of town. They're going through the middle, and Jake Bradley's done well to keep hold of that ball, and he's made a half break there as Bradley. Town are within the 10.
Just dodged the tackle of Brown.
Flat pass from Dorden there to Scully, and
Workington sent blood here, I think.
yeah, they're setting up on this near stand side as we look at it. It's a kick through. It's been taken out there, have they?
Well, it seemed to be a block off.
It's going to be a second dropout, but it seemed there as if Jake Bradley was blocked off by 2 or 3 of the Navy defenders there, but
Well, there's no real complaints on the pitch, so it seems to be that the referee's call will be accepted, and the Navy can try again to force themselves back further up the pitch.
yeah, as I say, they've done not a lot wrong, haven't the Navy? It's just the way the wind's been in the first half. It's been towards Terramaya, which has obviously given them a task in itself in running up the wind to start with, as that is just gone the 10, but it will be the Navy's ball as Bradley knocks on there, so something out of nothing there for the Navy, and they will get the ball back. It just shows you there the state of the pitch, but it is now
That was a
1
great
to
slide
1.
tackle.
Yeah.
This is getting messy.
If they're not so keen on rugby, Fratton Park might take them, as Portsmouth are struggling in the Championship as it is, but
Workington then right in a really dangerous position now. The Navy have to be careful. They've got one over on the left if they can find him, and actually
that's a fantastic tackle from the Navy there. They had a 3-on-1 overlap, did Workington, and they haven't taken it.
they reset both teams.
They've scored.
Actually, no, they have gone over.
Yeah,
the line
Rio
looks
got
very, yeah. Well, that is another try then for Workington, and Royal Navy are staring at quite a harsh scoreline now at 12 down, and it could be made 14 if the kick is converted.
Yeah, that was a bit of a comedy of errors there, that set, to be fair, wasn't it? You had the kick-off that barely went 10 metres, the juggling acts that didn't happen, and then
I think that'll be the one out of any try scored today that Darren Bumford will look back on and go, we can avoid that.
yeah, definitely.
When Workington play their game and play so brilliantly, which we know they can do, the Royal Navy, all right, they can accept that.
Yeah.
But when it's mistakes on their own half, they definitely will not then. Kick then. He's missed 2. Third time the charm.
You'd hope so, but that's got a bit more behind it. And that one is the third time the charm, and it's 16 zip to town here at the
It's
United
14.
Services.
14.
14, sorry.
14. Let's not give extra, come on. Yeah, 14 for Workington then. That is 3 tries, 1 conversion.
It is. The coffee's wearing off.
So then the Navy have spent most of the game so far in their own half. We'll have to try and find something, some foothold to get some momentum going, or this is going to be a long afternoon, because Workington, look very, very in the mood.
You didn't normally just
No,
say
we're going
that,
to ignore that one, did we? John Tigorley's got his team fit and firing.
And that's a knock on though, as
Yeah.
commentators cuss.
I'm not sure it was a full pass actually. Looked, I mean, we're in a position right in the middle of the stand where it's hard to tell. But the Navy got a really good position here, and actually at this point in the game, it's really key they make something of this.
Well, it'll be interesting as well to see how Jonty Gawley's side do defensively, in respect of, this is probably the first time that the Navy have been down this way since they were kicked off to in the opening couple of minutes. So when you've had a lot of the ball in attack and not much to do defensively, it can sometimes come and bite you. But you're just seeing the strength of that wind there as the pass. If you were a footballer, you'd have been pleased with the curve on that pass.
So it just held up for a moment. And now we get to see Workington's defensive capabilities. The Navy force it forward. Brown
Got an overlap.
Dakaliga on the overlap, but he couldn't find him. Just ran into a channel that there wasn't any room to go. Joel.
Oh,
Butler
that's a
just
brilliant
dropped it
take.
for a second and
But that's a
absolutely
huge
gets
hit.
wiped out. In this game, you set yourself up for that, you will get hit, and that's what happened there for Brodie Butler.
Yeah, I felt sorry for Butler there. He was rather given the proverbial hospital pass, given the conditions, and Kane Barnes there has knocked him back to...
It's not been the best afternoon for Brodie Butler so far. Still time to turn it around, of course, but a couple of slipped through the hands in this weather.
Yeah, and that's totally understandable. I mean, as you say, it's very, very windy, and it is going to be a forward-orientated game, you feel, just from what we've seen so far this afternoon, although Town are trying to get a bit of movement and have gone with Levi Atiga down this near stand side as we look at it.
Forcing the ball across. It's great movement.
And that's brilliant from Kane Barnes there.
The Navy trying to hold shape.
And again, though, the Town have spilt the ball. 25, beg your pardon, off the Navy, off their own line. So it'll be interesting to see again there. Can the Navy put some points on the board?
Yeah.
Good strong run that there. Not too sure who that is.
It's hard to say. It was Brodie Butler, the captain.
Well, there's his error rewarded as Bradley there makes up for his with a quick bit of action to stop there the Navy in their tracks.
Joel whipping it wide, and now Brown.
I think the Navy here, they've got a bit of condensing on this near stand side, and if they can work that well, oh, brilliant take there from the fullback. That
Did well there, Luke Baird. That could have been very difficult.
it is the last though for the Navy. Neat little dink kick, and it's gone straight into the arms of Levi Atiga on that side. So good defensive set there for Workington, but equally it'll be good for the Navy to have had ball in hand in a
confidence.
Good, yeah, and have finished the set as well there.
And that's something that Darren Bamford has aimed for today, in particular, finishing sets. So there's one on the board.
And I think in all truth, they finished the set there in their own sort of, on their own terms. Have not had to be bullied into where they finished that set as Town halfway through the set. Then that's Noah Hythe on loan, Warrington Wolves man, as Walker juggles with that ball, and as Kieran Walker found the gap, it's found what looked like a very forward pass. It may have been wind assisted, but here goes Johnny Hutton, and Hutton there then will probably go to the Navy because I don't think they've played the ball.
Definitely looked like a forward pass from where we were sitting.
Yeah, I must admit, I mean, the only thing I can think of is that it's been wind assisted as to why it's not been given as forward, but well, the referee has also adjudged that ball was played at by the Navy defender. Very harsh call to me, because there wasn't...
Interesting call from the RFL official.
I don't think there was enough room there to be able to say that anybody's played at that, in all honesty, from where we were sat, but...
I'm glad you brought up the name Noah Hythe, someone definitely worth talking about, on loan, as you say, from Warrington. A player with a real high potential, big future in the game.
Oh, massively so. I mean, I remember he was on loan at Whitehaven for the period last season when they were struggling down at the recreation ground, and one of their standout performers by a long, long way. So it's a real coup that for Jonty Gawley and his side, as Town look now to extend the lead here at the United Services recreation ground, and it's Bradley then. Oh, brilliant tackle there.
Pink tank just
on
doesn't
Cooper
look
Howlett,
like it's
and that
stop.
ball is just over Dominic Weir then.
Looking for options on the right. He just stumbled, actually. Again, another slip, and the Royal Navy get a chance to
Last tackle.
sort themselves out. And they have collected that, I believe.
It's a knock-on from someone. Who is anybody's guess, I believe. It's the Navy.
It must have been Ben Connor then.
Yeah.
Who we've got down as 3. Well, I think he's wearing number 2.
And again, I just think there, the numbers the Navy had, they may have been able to just let that one bounce and then pick it up, as opposed to drop on it immediately. Back to Walker now, then on this near stand side. And
Nearly a great steal from Elliot Richardson, I think, was looking to take it away, but it's just stopped Workington in their tracks for a moment, and actually
been given as a forward pass, but then
I think it's just been stopped due to the.
Well, he looked as if he'd give a signal for a forward pass, but I don't know why I'm doing the hand gesture. You can see on the TV. But it could have been a couple of things, because you looked like a little bit of a late hit on the town half, and it's anything now where even if it's a millisecond, you're normally getting penalised for. We've seen it at London versus Gould yesterday. A couple of harsh ones with that, but it is a town scrum, so I'm not too sure why, but that scrum broke very early from the Navy. Will it be penalised? Hopefully not, because
Chance then for another Workington try, perhaps. The Navy wall just holding firm for a second.
Yeah, the brothers band there as Guy Graham, as he got that ball down. Well, referee stood the wrong side to see if he had anyway, but that's
There's
a brilliant pass, and Will
now.
Evans is in.
And he's got to score again. Workington are going to score again, and that is
a debut try for Will Evans there.
I mean, a debut try for everyone so far. But yeah, Will Evans gets on the score sheet, and it is 18 for Workington. And it is just getting a little bit harder and harder as the minutes go by for the Royal Navy, who will be dreaming of round 3, will be dreaming of Leigh Leopards. They've got to round 4 before that's their highest, but in this rain, it's going to take a real performance, real hearty performance to get back into this.
It'll be interesting to see, as I say, the second half, what the weather does in the second half. And I mean, when I first got here this morning, did notice that some of the forwards there for the Navy, they're not the smallest of fellas on the planet.
No, absolutely not. And
if they can get some of that traction going down towards the university.
Yeah, well, that's what they'll be looking at. They'll be looking at Dave Brown, they'll be looking at Rhys Joel, Brody Butler and Elliot Richardson, all try and be scoring threats. It is going to be...
You'd hope
Walker,
for damage limitation as well in the first half and try and build on that, but...
Walker's kick then to make it 20.
And it's not got the legs.
Look at the wind take that. That is not getting anywhere near it. And just the 18 then for Workington.
Yeah.
And you do wonder if those kicks could prove to be important later in the game. If the Navy can make a comeback, well, that's 3 missed conversions.
Out of 4, yeah.
I mean, you're forgiven for the weather a little bit, but that's not what the Workington Town coaching staff will be pleased with, that's for sure. He'll be getting a message later on the bus, I'm sure.
Oh no, I doubt it. I mean, that wind is huge. I mean, we're just looking now, and there's a sustained wind speed here at the moment, according to the Met Office, of 39 miles an hour. That's out on the full from the Navy, and yeah, sustained wind speed of 39 miles an hour with wind gusts of 47. So it's not the easiest of conditions out there at the moment at all for the two sides, as Workington then take the tap on the halfway line where the offence has taken place and make 10 metres there through Jake Bradley. They're on that far stand side, on the short side with Cooper Howlett now, and the Australian takes 3 to get him down, and Walker then on to Jake Bradley, and Bradley's trying to spin through the gap. He's got an offload away. That's great there from Bradley. Doran no slips on an ever muddier surface here in Portsmouth. Don Weir then. Guy Graham.
The onslaught continues for Workington, who are just piling men forward. They really sense there's some scores here. He's going to be pulled back though.
Offside, the Navy, so it's a penalty to Workington for offside.
I can't see them taking a kick in this condition, so we will get a real attacking position here for Workington.
It might be a struggle to be able to get the kick. Is that Doran over the line? It is. It
is, yeah, Doran is over the line.
Yeah,
real great dart from Doran, and it is another Workington Town try, and this first half is going slower and slower for the Royal Navy.
Yeah, it's a second coming there for the Workington Town hooker. He originally started playing at halfback, had 9 fantastic seasons under a couple of coaches at Workington before making the move across to Whitehaven, and a couple of seasons at Whitehaven, injury-riddled seasons, it has to be said, at the recreation ground, which was a real shame because had a lot of high hopes for going back and playing from his hometown club. But back in the blue and white, or the pink and black, or the purple and black potentially.
We're going to say pink. I'm not having that as a purple. Absolutely not.
No, it is. It's a very lightning, shocking pink. As
I mean, Kieran Walker will thank him for the positioning of this penalty as well. With the difficulties that he's had so far, you would expect this one to be gone through the posts, and that will make it 24 points if converted for Workington Town, who are in an imperious mood at the moment.
And we see now for Workington as well the arrival onto the field of Jack Stevenson, the on at loose forward, so I can potentially can't quite see who's left the field for us.
Well, it was converted anyway by Walker to make it 24 points on the board. The Navy yet to get on the scoreboard. And a lot of messages coming through from the Navy bench at the moment to try and just settle this ship, because
stem the flow, so to speak.
A lot of these players will be thinking about a few years ago, round 4 against North Wales Crusaders.
Oh, that's a huge knock though from Gaylor. Brilliant kick from the Royal Navy, and Gaylor come off the back fence, and it just bounced off his chest from the look of it there. And the Navy then are going to have head and feet 15 metres or so off the town line, and
ball just held up in the swirl here in Portsmouth.
Good crowding as well this afternoon. That they were quite ecstatic when that happened, and the Navy there, brilliant line.
Brody Butler just hit a bit of a wall there. I wasn't sure how high that was from our position, but
yeah, it looked a touch over the shoulder, shall we say, but
the Navy keep going.
Ooh,
nearly dropped there by can't quite see from here. I think that might have been Jack Bartlett.
The
Bartlett's
Navy are
still driving. Joel even.
That was another pink wall, and it had to be there because the Navy are right on this town line at the minute. They need to get it out. That's a brilliant pass, but it's intercepted. Oh, it was nearly intercepted there by Dominic Weir. It will go back to 0 because of the attempted interception, but the Navy have lost 20 metres there.
Sugden kept it alive for the Navy at least. And now I think that's Harry Vorwig driving.
And there's a potential head injury there, is it, to Kane Barnes? It looked like a bit of a knock, but
he's Brown.
Got up and got away from that. And this centre field position as well for the Navy, it gives them options left and right. They're going right as we look at it. Now they're going left.
Flicked on to Baird.
Couple of metres made there, and it'll just give them a bit of confidence to have the ball in this area at the minute.
They definitely need more of the ball at the moment, just to find a force hold into this game.
And just to get a hold of the ball, and not a pink and black shirt at the moment, but again...
Well, they had a hold of Joel there and got him further away from their try line.
20 metres out of Workington.
Butler.
Pardon, of the Navy.
We know Butler can drive through defences. We've seen it at inter-services and Challenge Cup level.
There'll be a kick to come surely here. It is the last, and Joel. It is a neat little dink kick. And that has been bounced on by Rio Corkill on that far stand side. It was like a ping pong ball there, but managed to be taken hold of. And
actually, I just the physio just stuck in the way at the moment. I wonder if the referee might look at stopping it if it's in a troublesome position.
I don't think so, purely because the play's going away from...
It is now.
Yeah, it wasn't before, as Howlett then takes Town over their own 20. Not too sure whether that's a bloody nose, mud in the eye, or Kieran Walker going for the 20-40. It's got the legs.
It's going to get there. A real
brilliant
boost for Workington, who were actually, for the first time in the game, under a little bit of pressure. And that relieved any of that. And the Navy, again, confidence boosting, but not able to get anywhere near it.
Well, this is a morale booster for the Navy as well. Kieran Walker there just remonstrating with the referee. He thought he kicked the 20-40, but the referee has adjudged that it wasn't.
Interesting.
And that the Navy will get the ball back. So, oh, that...
Another slip in there.
Yeah. And this is where you've got to just be a bit careful.
With Jack Ray there just
mixing it up with Stevie Scully, and You don't want to do that.
The Navy have to try and keep their heads, of course. Frustration will be there over the scoreline at the moment, but still a long way to go in this one. You've seen unlikelier comebacks.
I've seen stranger things happen. I've seen Workington hold big leads and lose them. I've seen teams come to Derwent Park, or the fibrous community as it is now, and lose them. So, yeah.
Nice kick.
Nice kick that, as
Very
Gala
good
goes
kick.
across the line.
And actually the ball is sort of dripping sort of off the puddles and flying down.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's
so the
given them
kicks
a
aren't
lot of
getting-
things, and that is a 20-40.
Yep,
So that one
will count.
will count, and the Navy almost saying to Workington, that is how you do it.
That
But
is how you do it. Rhys Joel will step up to the plate.
20 off the town line, then go the Navy. Anybody that is not aware of the squad, it is 22 zip to the visitors this afternoon. And that is a juggle from Joel. And a big
It should be 24. I don't believe they've updated the scoreboard over to your left, you see, because the conversion did go in.
It did, so it's 24.
Yeah, 24. The Navy looking to put a stamp on that scoreboard as well with Joel.
There's a big gap here if they can use it, the
Butler.
Navy, but Stevenson
Butler.
bounced Butler, and the post pad in there saved Workington. That is a...
Extra Workington down defender for a moment.
It was. But again, they need some shape, they need some movement near to the RN.
Joel looking to
They've got to kick
kick
through.
through.
Is that back to one? It is back to one.
Back to one. That'll work for the Royal Navy.
It'll work fantastic
Great
for the home
position
side
to
here.
have 5 more tries at this.
And I don't know who's
I think
put
that's
that
Johnny
gantry there,
Stoppard
but
trying to fort through.
could have done with that talk roll to get that cleaned on that side. They're going up the middle now with the Navy. Their central positioning.
That's Elliot Richardson. You can't quite see his number. He's that muddy at the moment. Joel, real chance to get on the board here for the Navy with Butler.
Bell rung there though from Barnes.
Workington's defence is just holding tall at the moment.
They're not anymore though. Oh,
he's
they are.
dropped it.
It's been a knock on.
Brilliant opportunity for the Royal Navy, but couldn't quite get their hands on it.
And that's definitely been their best spell of the game so far for the Navy, and it's just a shame for them, particularly that bounce just didn't quite favour them, as Dom Weir then gives it to Levi Atiga. That looked a touch around the chin as well, but Atiga taking 5 with him originally. Quick play the ball, and it's Dom Weir. Weir, has he found a gap? No, he's not.
Speedy run there from Weir, actually. You can see the Navy player struggling to get back to keep up with him.
Yeah, it was a quick play of the ball there. They've done well to find the front. That, though,
We're going to play through. The Navy will get a set of 6 here.
knock on from Stevenson. And I think the issue that you've got for
There's a head injury, unfortunately. I think it might be Elliot Richardson.
Yeah,
Can't quite see the number on his back. You can see how muddy his shirt is.
it looked as if he's gone into Stevenson there, and Stevenson's got the better of the issue there. The chest of Jack Stevenson and the head of Elliot Richardson just didn't give at all.
In fact, I don't think it is Richardson. It might be Rhys Joel. It is, in fact, Rhys Joel, who's back up on his feet. And he's such an important player, actually, for the Navy this afternoon. They will not want him off the field, particularly at this junction of the game.
I must admit, when I was looking through the sheet this morning and seeing the name of James Tilley missing, the former Whitehaven pro,
Big miss. Big
huge miss. Yeah, it was one that we'd circled a long time ago, and when the draw was made as an interesting watch.
There's a couple actually for the Navy, big misses from the intercepts. No Ben Chambers, he's injured. James Texera also injured, and as is the case with military sport, which is something I think Workington don't have to deal with, you can't always be available.
No, and that's the thing, and you know, it was interesting. I didn't know this obviously until the draw was made, and looking into it as to whether it was, you know, an actual team or whether it was brilliant pass there, though, brilliant tackle equally, whether it was something that it was a case of you got a call on Monday to play on Sunday, or...
Oh, they take this seriously, don't you worry.
And that's a dropped ball.
Yeah.
How has it come out, though? Well, it's come out clean anyway, and Gaylor's through a gap. Is that in, Gaylor?
This is dangerous.
This is a try.
the
Johnny
Navy.
Hutton's not going to be stopped from there.
He's got the length of the field to go through, but Johnny
and he's going
Hutton
to go around towards the sticks if he can.
adds his second of the day, and Workington have another. And just when the Navy felt like they were getting somewhere in this game, they've been hit on the break.
And that is the proverbial sucker punch mind, isn't it? Because as you say there, the Navy were getting into the game. They were really trying to give an account of themselves there, and a loose carry on that far stand side. And they're now under the posts again, and Zarin Gale there, the Australian Maltese international fullback, has cut them into
It's a really great burst, isn't it?
It is. And I think the sleight of the foot and the turn of pace there is what's caught the Navy out, in all truth.
Well, it's another score then for Workington Town, who are enjoying their trip to Portsmouth despite the weather. And we believe 28 on the score. The scoreboard hasn't quite been updated by the Navy, I think, to our left. No, I think no one wants to run over there, and it's the old-fashioned scoreboard, by the way. It's no electronics, and it's a chance then potentially for the big 3-0 from the kick.
And we won't now, I don't think, be too far off the half-time interval here at the United Services Recreation Ground as Walker puts boot to ball. And it is true, and it is through.
And that is 30 points up then for Workington Town.
Just looking at the referees, looking towards his two touch judges here for...
We've got a little bit of time still. The Royal Navy have had a very difficult first half to deal with here. Not just conditions, but they've faced a Workington Town team who have not turned up here expecting an easy challenge. They've turned up here full force, ready not just to perform well in the Challenge Cup, but actually a lot of these players are going, look, this is a new squad, this is a new head coach, there are places and shirts to play for, and they are certainly showing there's competition across the whole squad.
Well, I think as well, given the fact that they lost last weekend away to local rivals Whitehaven in the Ike Southwood Memorial Trophy, I don't think that's probably helped the situation for the Navy either, because they'll be smiting off the back of that loss in particular. Very, very colloquial up there, and you know, it's one of them where Jonty has often said, Jonty Gawley, you know, you will play if you train well and if you deserve your place. You don't just get in because of your name. As Stevenson there, big run from the former South Cumbrian amateur. Doran looking to kick early, fullback's not there, and that's out on the full. And that is potentially, that may lead to the hairdryer moment.
Yeah.
In the
might just give the Royal Navy a chance to end the half with something to claw for.
Well, we've just passed there, it looks like 22, so if it's kicked off on time, we are potentially in time added on, and there has been a couple of injuries and stoppages for the conversions and the kickoffs and things with the wind, so a couple of minutes potentially, maybe a set each. Quick zip there from the Navy. They found a gap. They're in, are they? Oh, brilliant tackle there from Gale.
Like the Navy could fall through, I think, with David Brown. And
have we got a penalty? Is it half time?
I think
it's half time.
It's half time. That is an interesting point to stop the game. The Navy are showing a little bit of frustration with it, but
I think the thing is as well, you don't hear any sort of hooter or klaxon or anything like that, so...
But at half-time then, well, Workington are in a brilliant position. We believe 30 points up.
Yeah.
We will get that double check for you at half-time because the Navy are sticking with a different score at the moment, so we'll get that double check. We believe 30 points up and, well, 1 foot through into round 3 at the moment. We'll hear more from you in the second half. Let's take a look, though, at some other Challenge Cup action. We were there yesterday in London as the Army took on the West Warriors, and we'll see highlights of that now. Hi, I'm Kyle Dixon, and this is In Case You Missed It. Another World Cup medal for Royal Marine Commando Taylor Lawrence after Great Britain's four-man bobsleigh team won silver in Austria. The team, which also includes Brad Hall, Leon Greenwood and Adam Gulliver, now sits second in the overall rankings at the halfway stage. Lawrence will head back to St Moritz this weekend for the fifth round of the World Cup circuit before heading to Lillehammer for the European Championships. A title within his grasp. British para bobsleigh star Corey Mapp is on track to retain his World Cup title after adding to his medal haul in Lillehammer. The former British Army soldier bagged a gold and bronze medal over the weekend in races 5 and 6 of the 8-round World Cup season. Matt will head to Sigulda in Latvia, where he could sew up what could be his third career World Cup title. Celebrations after reaching the finish line in Antigua. The team from Team Venture completing a 3,000-mile journey in the world's toughest row, crossing the Atlantic in 40 days, 17 hours and 40 minutes. The three British Army soldiers are the first of 4 UK military teams to finish and the first trio in this year's race to arrive at Nelson's Dockyard. The RAF have announced who will be taking charge of the under-23s football team in the summer. Flight Sergeant Tom Richardson will take over from Sergeant Danny Bartley after the inter-services next month and the President's Cup clash against the Dutch Air Force in May. Richardson was a key part of Andy Kuchter's coaching staff that helped lead the RAF senior men's team to back-to-back inter-services titles in 2022 and 2023. The British Army men's rugby union team have sent a message to their forces rivals with a thumping 66-7 win over the British Police. The match was held at Sixway Stadium in Worcester as part of the Army's inter-service preparations. The police will also play the RAF and the Royal Navy before the competition kicks off in April. Well, welcome back to a muddy, rainy Burnaby Road. We can confirm the score is 30 points to nothing. Workington 30 up as we expected. And you've just seen that the live Forces Sport train continues to roll through. We were at the Grand Military Gold Cup on Friday for some brilliant horse racing. We've got Challenge Cup action today, and on Wednesday we're looking forward to this one, live international netball, as the British Army team, who are considered the best in the UK Armed Forces, take on the 7th best team in the world in Malawi. It is going to be a brilliant night in Loughborough. We hope you can join us for that one too. We're just waiting for the two teams to head on out of that changing room, you can see, and hopefully they'll be out soon. The Royal Navy have got work to do. I think we can take a look at a couple of the Workington tries while we wait. And as you see, Workington have been brilliant in this first half. The way they've moved the ball so quickly, the Navy have struggled really to stop the onslaught that has come from a determined and motivated Workington Town team who are in a very comfortable position at half-time. Some brilliant tries, as you'll see in that first half. They'll be looking to do the same in the second, but who knows what the band of brothers have got. They're out. Well, alongside Workington, actually, both teams out for this second half then, and the Navy facing a very, very uphill battle as Callum joins us again. Half-time, you thawed out, you warmed up?
No, no, not at all. Hopefully let's put it this way, hopefully the heating's working in the car on the way home, but...
I'm sure. The Navy then to get us underway. Big job to do then for Darren Bamford's team, who are 30 points down, facing Challenge Cup elimination in round 2 to join the Army in the RAF. That's a drilled kick more than anything.
There goes Noah High. And brilliant carry there from the Warrington low knee. 25 metres, 28
a couple
now.
of changes at half-time, as you'll be able to pick them out by the cleanliness of their kits, if I'm really honest with you. The Navy not going to give an inch in this first opening period of the second half after what I'd imagine was quite a stern team talk from Darren Bamford.
Yeah, so Jake Carter on for Workington then. That's Carter completing the trio of Cumbrian professional clubs. He was spent time at Barrow originally, then at Whitehaven, and now he's down to Workington, and that's brilliant take there from Walker, but he's lost 5 or 10 metres there as the young town half there.
Talking of Jake Carter's got Challenge Cup experience previously, by the way. In 2022, played against Workington Town for Barrow Raiders, and I hate to tell you guys, but it was a Barrow Raiders win that day.
It was, and it was a Jake Carter masterclass that day, such as it was when he played us against Whitehaven and kicked here, there and everywhere, and put us to the sword that day as well. So another great signing for Jonty Gawley, and be interesting to see how he goes this season. That looked like a very, very flat pass, shall we say, but
let's say flat, and the Navy will get advantage from it. And now Butler,
not too sure who that young fella is in at the half there, but he looks like one of the cleaner of the players. So,
well, he's wearing number 20. We don't have for 20 on our sheet, but I will double check on an updated team sheet that I now have.
Has gone here, there, and everywhere, and Gaylor gets under it just, but the Navy are on top of him. So good opening couple of sets here for Darren Bamford's side there, as Johnny Hutton then looks to give Town a bit of zip, but he's well met by 3 Navy defenders, and he's got a head knock here as Hutton off the knee of number 19. I don't know who that is at the minute.
Number 19 we've got down as Johnny Stoppard.
Yeah, so Stoppard there as Stoppard did Hutton squared in his tracks. You could see as he was twisting in the tackle there, he immediately went to the top of his head, the former Ulverston amateur.
Just another chance then for some messages from the bench. And as usual with Forces live streams, if you are messaging along on YouTube and Facebook, please do get involved. Let us know where you're watching from. I'm sure it's warmer than Portsmouth at the moment. Unfortunately, we won't be able to read them out like we usually do. We are trying to protect our equipment in this wet weather as much as we can. But please still do get involved and get the community going on the YouTube channel and on Facebook too.
Yeah, and the signal there then from the physio and from the doctor that the Town man is good to go again, and big boost there really for Jonty Gawley's side, because it's very, very rare that you carry outside backs on your bench. So could have been a bit of a reshuffling nightmare there for the Town head coach, but as it is, Town go with the ball. They've got Cooper Howlett on the ball, wrapped up by 2 Navy defenders, just shy of halfway. Phillips then into Scully. Scotland international and Cumbria representative there, linking up well. Phillips after about a 9-year hiatus from Town, and that ball's not gone dead, but it needs dealt with by the Navy, and it has been, and well done that man, because he looked for all intent and purposes there that he was going to end up in the University of Portsmouth there, but he's done well to come inside, and the Navy then will start.
Dakaliga just headed down a blind alley,
and it's a goal line dropout there. Workington have forced the Navy on the second tackle.
Lots of hands on hips at the moment for the Royal Navy. We're doing everything they can to try and force a way back into the game, but actually I think they're just hitting a Workington team who are not giving an inch at the moment.
No, I think there's, as I say, I said in the first half there, Workington are going to be smiting. Oh, that's brilliant, it's gone backwards though, so that's grand. But they were smiting after that loss to Whitehaven last weekend, and I think they've really sort of had the bit between the teeth this afternoon as Stevenson goes to make a break there. Does Jack Stevenson, and 3 or 4 fetch him down there for Bamford's side, and short side press there if they can use it. Can Town, and Walker's got half a gap and he's gone through that gap, but well met on that far stand side. It's going back towards centre field. Carter on to Noah High. Brilliant pass from Scully. Is there anybody there? It's Gaylor.
Surely going to get over here.
They're held up just shy of the line at the minute. Well, they're held up on the line actually because they've gone back to the 10.
Phillips.
Looks left, looks right. Brilliant cut-out pass. Can Hutton get it? He can. But it is the last, and he's about a metre or two short. Not even the wet surface here will stop him.
Brilliant kick from Walker, though. And
Callum Phillips, yeah.
Back at Workington and back with a try.
Bloody nose and all there from the Scotland international hooker, and two former Seaton Rangers players there linking up fantastically.
And 34 points then on the board for Workington Town.
And
just pick up where they left off.
And just looking as well now down that far end, we said in the first half the wind seems a little, do stress a little less prevalent down there, so it may be slightly easier for the kicks, but
I think, and I could be wrong because we're sat in the stands, we can't fit it, I think it might have stopped raining.
Yeah.
Which is not something we had on our bingo cards this afternoon, so we'll take it.
All I need now is a little bit of this underground heating and the pitch will be fine in 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, Walker then for the kick to make it 36 on the board for Workington with what should be quite a simple kick for him.
Seen them missed. And that one's gone through.
36 then for Workington, who are, I'd imagine, in the background starting to plan for a Leigh Leopards clash in round 3. The Navy have got an almighty comeback on their hands if they're going to get anywhere near that clash.
Yeah, no, it's looking less and less likely now, unfortunately, for the Navy, that they're going to be welcoming Derek Beaumont, Adrian Lamb and the Leigh Leopards to the United Services ground in a fortnight, 3 weeks time there. But for Jonty Gawley and Dean Marwood, it could well be Edwin and Pappy and Josh Charnley to the fibrous community in a couple of weeks, if this keeps going as it is and has done since really the opening 5 minutes there, when the Navy had a couple of good bits of spells. And here goes Nowodaya then off the back fence. Brilliant hit there though from the Navy. Huge shot there, and it has been a knock on, and I'm not at all in the slightest surprised at that. That was a huge shot. It was like a gun going off at the on the dockside there, that one.
That's a big boost for the Navy. Should be said, I don't think Reece Joel has just taken a break. He's not on the field at the moment. Maybe that's not good news for the Royal Navy, but they've got some good positioning here. Jack Aliga, I can just see in front of us, by the way, just shaking his arms out just to say, right, let's get going in this cold weather, and it's been very cold for the Royal Navy on the scoreboard so far. Yeah,
it's been an icy performance from Town so far, but good tackle there from Howlett to get down the 6'4" frame of the Australian second rower.
But they're trying to find a way through. Here come the Navy again with Brown, who's going to take some stopping, but he is stopped.
Good run that though from the Navy man, and they've got a shift on here if they could use it, and they haven't, but they've gone up the middle, and brilliant yards there.
I'm not sure if that's Harry Vorwig, who's just found a spot and found a space. Here come the Navy again.
And that is
Butler, who's going to potentially go down.
A yard shy of the line. Oh, it's a knock on.
So harsh on Brodie Butler, who's just had that sort of day, hasn't he?
Yeah, some of the good things that the Navy have done have just come undone, and are probably by the weather as well, to be honest. I mean, you get that on a dry track and you keep hold of that.
Yeah, absolutely, and the Navy will be frustrated that they couldn't get on the board there. Great defence by Workington, though, to give them the credit.
Yeah, no, good rugby in general from both sides there. They looked for the force in the gap, and they found it, but they just found the mud that dislodged the ball as well. And Town then down this near stand side. Hutton's got half a break there as Johnny Hutton.
Shown that he can find a yard, Johnny Hutton. He slipped away from the Royal Naval defender there. And
again, that's probably, just as we said there, probably come from the wet, where the brilliant offload from Scully gives it to the loose forward this afternoon. Then of Stevenson, again fighting them off is the former Barrow man. That's a 2-on-1 strip.
The Navy did stop him, but unfortunately not by legal means.
Yeah, the stand here hadn't too pleased with that one, but it is. A couple of years ago you'd have got away with that because he fell away from the tackle, but originally there was 2 in the tackle, so it's again, it's an unfortunate one for the Royal Navy, but it is a correct call there from Josh Pemberton, and just now need to wait for the ball as Hutton there.
Hutton being ball boy too.
Man of many talents, he'll have, you know.
He's high. Bursting through Noah High.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's going to be a try.
Another try. That is exactly what that man is all about, Noah High.
And that is what he was signed for from the Warrington Wolves. Gary Chambers and Sam Burgess wrapping the appraisal for High, and
a player that thought of highly across rugby league, a player that big future for Noah High, and he's shown exactly what he can do, even on a difficult surface like here at Burnaby Road. He's drifted through 3 challenges and plopped the ball down for a 40-point margin for Workington.
It will be, and well, 40 should the kick go.
No, unfortunately the Royal Navy scoreboard toilet hasn't been updated, but I had it confirmed at half-time. It was 30 at half-time.
It was.
So it is 40 now,
yeah,
and it will be 42 if this point goes in from the kick.
It was 30, so...
My director just pointed out our on-screen graphics are correct. We are sticking with it. It is correct. Kick then to come. And this Workington Town onslaught continues.
Just waiting for the kick and tee, I think, looking at the... I mean, to be honest, in this weather, you might just dig your heel in the ground and kick it over from there. Such as time's gone by, they used to just take a bit of sand and put it in the...
you do wonder why they have to call for the kicking tee here like it's not already ready. You got to wonder what they're expecting. But a chance then from the kick for Workington.
Again.
It's going to be Walker who's sticking with it. He's had some joy in the first half and some frustration. To make it 42, he will have to have joy again. He does indeed. And the Royal Navy are 42 points down. Workington are enjoying their afternoon.
And it is a bit of a shame that this scoreline is going out as it is, because, as I say, in the first half there, they didn't do a lot wrong, didn't the Navy? They haven't done a lot wrong in the second half. I think it's just more that when they've had that good ball, they just haven't had the fortunate side of it to be able to keep hold of it there. As
well, the Royal Navy have played 15 times in round 2 of the Challenge Cup. They've only won 3 of them, but 2 of those wins came here at Burnaby Road, so we thought maybe home advantage might have been something for the Navy to hope on, but Workington have sort of snuffed that out very quickly in the first half and continued throughout the game, and at the moment with the 42-point advantage.
Atiga there just going down that far stand side, skittling his own player in the process of making 18 yards there, as Barnes then metres, as I'm told, not yards.
The Navy at the moment staring at their second heaviest defeat in round 2 of the Challenge Cup in their history. 70 points would be the heaviest.
I believe that was it 66-6 with Batley?
No, they lost 70-0 to North Wales Crusaders. We're talking just round 2 at this point of my stats at the moment.
Carter then goes through a gap. Boys, brilliant offload to Howlett. Howlett's
just
picked it up and
juggling again.
Yeah.
Still going though.
Corkill then.
The Navy struggling to get men back here. Just game plans just starting to falter again. Carter.
Inside line on. Carter's took it himself, but a brilliant tackle there, ball and all, on Jake Carter. And
Walker, he's going to
kick over the top. Is Scully going to get to that? Is anybody going to get to it?
It's a big hit.
Yeah.
That is a big hit.
That's a bell rattler.
The Navy then damage limitations here for the Royal Navy.
It's a goal line dropout, that.
It will be indeed.
And I think as well, if we're right in saying that Workington are the first sort of semi-professional side down at Burnaby Road since Blackpool Panthers in 2010.
That sounds about right to me.
So it's
2010 when the Royal Navy made it to round 3 after beating Nottingham Outlaws in round 2 here at Burnaby Road. One of the brighter days in Royal Navy Challenge Cup history.
Scully though met well by 2 or 3, and that could have been adjudged a flop there given the ruling, but nothing. Howlett then met well.
I think that's Richardson
He's had a good game as Richardson, Elliot Richardson there on that side. Stevenson trying to fight with 3. Town centre field-ish. Callum Phillips then. Oh!
Just dropped by Carter. And the kick, just to make sure.
Well, now then, where are we going with this one? Are we going back to the forward pass?
Just a little bit of handbag, so to speak.
Yeah, we've got handbags at 10 paces and not needed when you're 42 points to the good.
Yeah, the Workington Town bench, I'm sure, will be just stressing, just keep a cool head. The Navy, I think what happened was, I mean, we didn't hear a whistle.
No.
So I think the Navy were playing on and there was a tackle made, and obviously the play had already been brought back and the Navy didn't know that.
No, and I think, to be honest, I think that exchanging of your dad's harder than my dad sort of thing come from the tackle on a Tiger. He looked as if he'd sort of twisted in the tackle, but again, no need in that at a 42-point deficit, so scrum down to the Navy, 20 off their own line. Well, that scrum wasn't it didn't look like that scrum was formed properly at all, but
Navy will get going with 2 of their sets.
You've got to be careful here, the Navy coming down this short stand side. The touchline looks very, very inviting. It wasn't. Ooh.
Bouncing off Scully, but still keeping his feet.
Done well there, did the young fella with the skull cap on there for the Navy, because that was heavy contact there from Town, and I think Scully's felt that a touch.
Butler trying to force a way through.
That ball's gone loose as well, unfortunately. Again, he's had one of them days as Butler. He's demonstrating that it was stripped.
Has. And actually, it's just Brown just pulling Butler away there to say, look, keep your head.
Yeah. I think the demonstration was there with the referee, Josh Pemberton, that Butler had felt like that there was a steal there on the ball. It looked from the position we're in as if it was lost, as it didn't just bounce out of the tackle, but you will try and take anything you can in these conditions, and that looked as if there was a bit of miscommunication there between Phillips and Gaylor as he's come this short stand side as Gaylor, but
you'll see the Navy have made a change as well, by the way. Number 17 has come on.
Yeah, he's got his dinner suit on, that young man there. It's
yep, you can tell which one the sub is. It's a bit of a high tackle actually, it looks, from the Navy there, but we've got to play through. Carter.
Just shows our opinions differ, I must admit. I thought that was round the shoulder, but anyway. Walker with a kick over the top. It's a chase on. Can Will Evans get there? Is it the Navy that's going to get there?
Navy got there first.
The Navy got there, and they've managed, to the credit as well, to keep that in play without having a goal line drop out there. Whether they will in the next couple of sets tackles there remains to be seen. Off the back line then. That looked high as well, to be fair. The
Quantock trying to force through. Frustration in the stands, I think, as well. And I imagine it's quite frustrating, sat on the Navy bench as well. A fixture that he probably had high hopes for, of sending a message to the rest of the rugby league world, but not through no fault of their own in a way. They haven't played badly, but
no, not at all.
They have not been able to compete against this Workington team today.
No, and I think, I said it at half time, I said off air to a couple of the Royal Navy supporters, I think had the weather been considerably better, had it been a drier track, watching the game against Meyerfield, it probably would have been a bit more even, as Kane Barnes then now goes towards that far stand side, as played back under which Will Evans in at dummy half gives the ball along to, they're well now then.
I mean, it's a brilliant pass, we'll say.
To Gaylor. That's been played at and picked up by Jake Bradley, I think. Can't quite see. No, it's not. It's Cooper Howlett. Apologies. Corkill then on this near stand side.
Chopped down by Charlie Newcomb.
Howlett in again at dummy half. Carter. Scully on the crash ball. Met by 3. They turn him onto his back, so that's a win for the Navy. They'll get a couple of extra seconds to set their line. Carter out the back, over the top. Corkill's in this near stand side. It's not Corkill, I beg your pardon, it's Johnny Hutton. And that is Hutton's hat-trick, yeah. Feeling the worst of that, though, as a...
I think it was just caught him late, actually, the challenge did. But it is a hat-trick for Johnny Hutton. And that does make us 46 on the board for Workington Town.
And I doubt, in all truth, given the way the wind is, although it seems to have dropped a little bit down that far stand side. Looking at those flags in the corner, they were looking closer to Southampton and South Sea in the first half, but...
this almost feels like a Portsmouth summer compared to earlier at the moment.
Yeah. Bit of sunshine, 20 mile an hour less winds, and we're getting there, but...
So it's going to be a kick then for Walker again, who's managed to up his tally after a disappointed start with a boot, but he's managed to get more on the board. This is going to be a difficult kick for him now with the wind still swirling. Johnny Hutton getting a round of applause by some of the fans here in the stand. Looks pleased with his work, as he should. Hat-trick on the board, 46 on the board for the Navy to stare at, I suppose, and for Workington to enjoy.
Yeah, no, there was. They've been backed well this afternoon of Town as well. The 20 or so that have made the 740-mile round trip from the West Coast will go home.
Absolute credit.
Go home feeling very, very pleased with their side's work, and that has just fell to the underside.
Just dropped wide.
Yeah.
Good effort actually from Walker in these circumstances and these situations, which actually we're talking about the wind dropped a bit. It's still difficult to kick from that position.
Yeah, it's difficult from those positions when it's a still day, let alone when you've got a 25 mile an hour crosswind on an open track. But 46-0 then the score.
Navy then to get us back underway. And for the Royal Navy at this point, you've got to think it's about getting on the board, it's about giving yourself some positive momentum to negate that.
Oh, dear me, that's high.
It is very high, but actually...
there could be some trouble there at the
I'm
review.
not sure the referee's the same opinion, you know. It was a big hit. A big hit, and it got the Navy bench off on their feet. It got a lot of Navy fans on their feet in the stand. So
yeah,
talk about momentum. That is something for the Navy, but
well,
I agree on the highness, I would say.
The physio there has give the all clear to know what which is the most important thing there. But yeah, that's seen those go a lot worse than play on and get on with it sort of thing for the Navy. So they've got away with one potentially there as Town towards halfway then with Walker coming a bit of zip now. The wind definitely has dropped as Cooper Howlett's chasing that ball. Picked up well though by the fullback for the Navy. But yeah, that could be a talking point for the match review panel on Tuesday certainly.
It's just added a little bit of spice into each tackle, actually.
Yeah, there's a bit more oomph in the...
both sides, not just the Navy too. The Workington.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and I'll be quite honest, if this turns daft now, that is a talking point there, because there was definitely room for a caution at least there previously on Nowhere Eye, but we shall see.
The Navy then on a 40-yard mark. Butler.
And again, that's a good tackle there from...
He's managed to keep hold of it, but actually the Navy will.
He's got an offload away there. That ball, though, has gone back 10 metres.
We'll call it an offload from Butler.
Yeah, it was a... Yeah, we'll give him that. He's had a hard day. Deserved the appraisal there with that last tackle, though, for the Navy. They've dropped the ball.
And that is a momentum killer.
Yeah.
A coach killer, so to speak.
To be honest with you there as well, it might have well been needed, because it's potentially took the sting out of what was starting to boil into something that it didn't need to be there, as we see Callum Phillips being taken off the field. And Jamie Doran coming back on, so it's a Scotland international off for a Cumbrian representative on, as Guy Graham also replacing Stevie Scully, and the claret still splattered all over the face of Callum Phillips there from the earlier contact with the nose.
Ironically, more purple than his shirt.
Yeah, that's actually pink.
Yeah.
But yeah, just waiting now, I think, for a couple of running repairs, and
Butler having a bit of repair work done. Brady Butler looks like he's just rolled around in the mud for an hour, because he has rolled around in the mud for an hour.
And that's been
spilled. The Navy will win that back. Big celebrations for the Navy. That is one win.
One-on-one strip, and I believe that's either Noah High or Jake Carter. I can't quite tell.
I think it might have been High, yeah.
Myself with the mud. If it's not the mud, it's the water streaming from my eyes in the wind. There we go.
Navy crossing that 40-yard line again.
Just
trying to get some yardage into the...
It's a good opening tackle that there from the Navy. They're just shy of the halfway, so they made a good 10 metres or so there, but that was... Oh, they've gone backwards.
10 metres has gone backwards as the
Noah High and Jack Stevens
of the defence there stopped them.
These puns are coming in brilliantly. The rabid wolves.
Thank
and
you.
highly rated is...
Didn't even mean that one.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Chance then for the Navy to get into the Workington half. We'll be approaching
6
the end
again
of the set.
for the Navy there.
Oh, we'll go again, yep. Brown.
Believe that was holding down there from Kane Barnes, but...
Brown has got the Navy further forward again, and that is, I believe, Robbie Hawkshaw.
That's going to be... Well, the referee
Navy play
there.
on, we're still going, and that is another big tackle in there.
Must admit, I didn't think you could offload off the floor, but hey-ho, the Navy are in possession still.
Butler deserves a bit of luck for all of his efforts today.
He does. Not too sure who that 17 is there, but he come on that like the Abbas Street to Waterloo there.
Not quite sure who he's playing for either, because he's got a different kit on compared to everyone else, it feels like. The Navy then,
last tackle,
scoring opportunity. The kick just hit the first defender, and all momentum
flopped on it. Yeah,
stops.
Be interesting to see here if the Navy can pin Workington. They want a good defensive set. No penalties will be the call for Bamford's side. Evans then slips and ironically gets away with the slip because he's found a gap.
The slip was perfectly timed, wasn't it? We'll call it great running.
Well, is that? No, that's told to get up and play the ball. Atiga
getting yards every time.
Yeah,
that
he's a strong carrier there.
Fly through, particularly with these larger players, let's say, that they're getting further and further into the Navy half, whereas the Navy really struggled actually across their set to get.
Mind you, this is the last, and we've got a penalty for off. Oh, marker's not square. I'll be totally honest, I thought it was potentially offside on that far stand side as we look at it, but marker's not square. We'll take it.
Well, Workington then will be able to cross the halfway line with this and look for another attack at 46 points up, is what we believe. The Navy scoreboard to our left is whoever is doing the scoring for it, as I think, has just stopped and given up at this point. As it says 34, it's definitely not 34.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not 34, but
we've got it at 46.
I thought he was blown for full time for a minute there. It's first time he's blew twice for the penalty all game. It just shows you there that the wind must be picking back up down there, because prime position there to kick that deep. They've tapped the ball there of town, so
Carter.
Brilliant fly ball there, and in comes Jake Bradley, so Bradley's back on.
Dave Brown leading the Navy defensive work.
Not too happy about that, wasn't Bradley? Submitting that tackle potentially. Gaylor's got a gap.
He's going to find
an
a pass.
offload. Oh, that would have been a brilliant try for Town if it had come off, but for the collection from Rio Corkill. And the Navy then get a reprieve.
I think it was just behind him a little bit.
Yeah.
Quite find the momentum and the run. And Workington.
It looked for the run as if he thought he'd already picked the ball up and was picturing himself sliding in the mud down by that try line there, but as it is, the Royal Navy then.
I will say we are going to do our best with the Royal Navy shirt numbers and getting the right names, but at the moment we can't see any sort of shirt number with the amount of mud dripping off this kit. A credit to the hard work here at Portsmouth and this Navy team, even if they haven't got the results or
Well,
any
God
of the
bless
luck.
the kit men as well of both sides, because Workington, should they progress this afternoon, have a week off and probably take a fortnight to get some of these strips cleaned. And for them, of course, if it is a victory this afternoon, it is cup action again at home to the Dewsbury Rams in the 1895 Cup. I believe, was it Leigh? It might even be Leigh Leopards before that, but
I'm sure that Leigh Leopards tie will be taking attention.
yeah.
For a lot of fans.
Now then,
That's up in the air and coming back.
that's gone here, there, and everywhere, and Jake Carter, I
and
believe, is
nowhere,
the beneficiary. Now then, this could be Johnny Hutton. Oh, now then.
Johnny Hutton has had a brilliant day so far, but he won't want to remember that one. Not just the drop pass, but as he's tried to get the ball down, he's face planted into a muddy puddle. Lovely.
I mean, in all honesty, they'd have probably loved that as kids in Ulverston, but
He probably loves it now, to be honest.
well, yeah, but no, a bit of a issue there with the pass. I think it was a bit high for him off Carter there, and as it is, turnover on the halfway line, and it's Will Evans on that fast hand side with Kieran Walker doing the hard graft there as 4 to 5 come in for Workington now.
The Navy searching for options. Butler has managed to get hold of it.
And
They'll be looking for a battering ram with Dave Brown soon enough. Gone the opposite way.
Oh, that's a brilliant line if he can get hold of it there.
Evans did well. Evans did really well there.
Yeah, just put the man off enough there to force that pass, and referees to judge that it's gone forward.
Not sure it did. I feel like we're bang on in line with it where we sat, and actually it looked like it was well done, but
Yeah, it did. It looked as if it was hard done by there, to be honest with you. But as it is a town ball just shy of the halfway line, and again, there's been a couple of these decisions that Darren Bamford might well question.
I would say it's not decisions that I think would have made any difference today, because Workington Town look a bit unstoppable here in Portsmouth.
I don't think that have made much of a difference, but it doesn't help if you're looking for a bit of momentum to be stopped like that. But that's a brilliant tackle there on Kane Barnes. The
Talk about being stopped.
yeah, that was a case of
Another good, strong challenge.
yeah, brilliant tackling there for those two on that fast hand side. They're coming now though into the middle. It's Guy Graham, the former Carlisle Rugby Union man.
Butler just needs to be careful with his hands. Think round the shoulders. So I think that'll be okay.
Bradley then. Oh, that's a brilliant line ball. If you can find a support runner, he has it. Stevenson
Still got it, so still
batting
on.
off 2 and 3.
He might go all the way himself here.
He
you
has
know.
gone all the way. That's a fantastic try from Jack Stevenson.
And that is just summing up how good Workington Town have been today.
That is just brute
brilliant.
strength.
And that is 50 on
Yeah.
the board for Workington Town. A milestone number in a scoreboard that says, you know what, good work, boys.
Yeah. And we feared this might happen at the start of the second half when the first score went to town, and it just seemed now like the Navy's heads have
The Navy's heads might have dropped, but I will say
dropped a little bit,
that
but there's
their
certainly
legs
no
will
lack of effort.
Still go. They will go to the final whistle, this Royal Navy team. They're drilled that way from coaching staff who are players from down the years and know what this means. And there will be other days for the Royal Navy to celebrate, other upset wins, I'm sure. But today was not going to be that day. Workington Town have come with a mission, and so far anyway. Don't want to put the jinxes on it for Workington, but yeah, mission accomplished.
Yeah. As you say there as well, you know, it's a shame for the Navy because they won't give up. They've not necessarily even played to a scoreline where you would say, yeah, 50-0's about right. I think it's just in the good ball areas as Walker's kick misses there with the wind.
Just slipped, I think, as well, Walker. So 50 it'll stay at. Nice round number.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even one of those games either, though, where you can say, well, it's a scoreline where you say, yeah, you know, they've snotted them effectively. It's just been a case of when one's been in good ball, they've executed, and when the other's been in good ball, they've lost it in the tackle, or there's been a loose pass.
I don't think the Navy have played badly at all. It's
no,
just,
not at all.
I wouldn't even say it's a harsh scoreline either, though, because Workington have been very good.
Yeah, as I say, it's the execution in the last 10 for me that's done it.
There's a clear difference in the quality level, and that's no disrespect to the Royal Navy team.
No, not at all. No.
Who have certainly put the hard work in and have shown glimpses of the quality they've got. But when you come off against a team like Workington, you need everything to go right for the Royal Navy, and it has felt at times that not a lot has.
Well, you've got, as I say, I mean, along that line for Workington, that starting 17, you've got players there that's got vast experience in the Betfred Championship in the second division. You've got players there that are internationals and that have been for a long time, irrespective of whether that's Wales and Scotland, or, you know, whether that's a knock on though from Evans, whether that's, you know, Scotland or Ireland or England, Australia, they are still at an international level. There's lots of players that's been around the block a lot of the time, and they've held up well in a lot of the areas. As I say, it's just the difference in execution level when it's needed, as the rain starts to fall again on the south coast this afternoon.
Yes, it's going to get dicey again. Can the Royal Navy roll the dice? Just a little bit of space actually to work with until cut straight off, wasn't it?
Yep.
Space can be a dangerous thing in this game.
It can. And Dorden again there, 2 brilliant tackles there from the Workington hooker this afternoon, Jamie Dorden.
Butler still driving forward, driving his team forward at every opportunity.
Yeah, he's given a good account of himself there as Butler this afternoon.
Now Richardson into
Nice
Brown.
inside ball there though for Brown. Oh, that's a brilliant offload if he can get it, but he can't, and Stevenson's took the ball there. And that is the difference that we were talking about there. It's the ability to execute in good ball position, and it's just not happened for them this afternoon at all.
No, the Navy has certainly struggled with final ball, but
Barnes then, 3 to stop the former Wigan Warriors Academy man.
Workington then just a slip, but a brilliant piece of work to
Oh,
keep
that's a
hold
fantastic
of.
offload.
Maybe not.
Butler.
That was an interesting challenge from Carter.
Yeah.
Referee's got a closer look at it, so we'll take his word.
That looked like how big's your shoulder pad compared to mine, at least. But
The Navy
nonetheless,
dripping with mud, dripping with hard work. Would sorely love a score on the board just to ease the negativity around the scoreline.
I was just about to say, for a neutral's perspective there, oh, he's dropped the ball cold. That's unfortunate for the Navy. And Town will pick it up through Will Evans. We were just saying there, though, for the neutral perspective, it would be fantastic to see the Navy get on the board, and much deserved, might add as well. But from Jonty Gawley's point of view as the Town coach, you'd want now that scoreline to stay at zip as Doran then comes across the line, goes sideways.
Left and right, and the
Guy Graham then.
pass continues through. Butler, though, even on the floor, was dragging Graham down.
Well, he hasn't liked that either.
Naturally,
Something's
it's
gone
gonna
on
get a little
there. And I think it's the fella with the skull cap there that's done that. He went over the top there of Butler. That's going to be... Well, now then.
Not sure what the referee's called here.
He's called that Jake Bradley has knocked the ball on. Now then, I mean, if that was a 2-on-1 strip before, then is that a 2-on-1 strip? I believe you called me a genius when we first started, so take that title away. But yeah, potentially 6 and 2 threes in that.
Well, a bit more power coming off the Navy bench here.
Just about to say that looks like a bit more weight in the tackle. Oh, ball's gone.
Hold it though.
No, yeah. To be
Too
quite
many
honest with you,
times.
fair play to any person on that pitch that can keep hold of that ball, because I can't even see who's playing for the Navy at the minute. I mean, there's a fella down there, I believe it could be 2, 6 or 8 on his back at the minute, that's just walking beside the referee at the minute. So for any of them that can keep hold of that ball, fair play to them, because it'll probably be like a rugby league sized bar of soap at the minute.
Absolutely. Well, time is ticking down then in the second half time, ticking away.
Oh,
on
that's
the
a
Royal
brilliant
Navy
line from
Challenge
Corkill.
campaign.
It's a very, very late
It's
tackle
about
on
to get worse,
Jake Carter.
potentially.
Corkill,
Still
though,
going.
has been taught to play the ball. That's a really, really late tackle there on Jake Carter.
It's a knock on.
And it's a rib tickler when it's legal, so it's even worse when it's not, because you get then the whiplash effect as well, because you've almost relaxed yourself from the pass.
So, Workington 50 points up.
Yeah, we can't be too far away now. You feel it's been a very long...
Few stoppages, sure.
Yeah,
And the rain dropping again.
and it's changed direction as well, so it's coming in the back. Going across the grain rather than down. There they go, the ball's gone. It's gone back to 1 as well, and Town picked that up. That looked high as well there. Now then, that'll probably go to Workington, I think.
I
Yeah,
believe so, yeah.
1 knock on each, so it goes back to the first.
Game's just hit a bit of a lull, hasn't it? Where for the first time it feels like both sides have realised the result is in sight. And
Yeah, it's probably been an energy sapping one as well, because, as you say, you've got to battle the elements as well as the. There we go, kick through from Doran. Carter's chasing it, and Rio Corkill scored it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is another try for Workington Town, who managed to really manipulate the space there and find the way through, and it is 54 on the board.
And it is the Nigerian international Rio Corkill that scored that. Is that his second, I believe, is it?
It may well be. It's certainly a score that shows the might of this Workington Town attack. The Royal Navy just huddling together at the moment to try and stay keeping their head in the game. It's really difficult when you're in that position, staring at a scoreline that the Navy is staring at.
It is. And to be fair, as we said at the last try, it is just that gulf in ability to convert good ball possession. As that kick from Walker's gone through, that's brilliant.
Really good kick from Walker. 56 then for Workington Town.
And that is full time.
To end the game and to end the Royal Navy's Challenge Cup run. A brilliant performance from Workington Town, who will look ahead to Leigh Leopards, and I don't think anybody on the Royal Navy side will have any complaints with the fact that Workington Town were the better team today.
No, I must admit, I don't think so myself. It's been a really, really good experience all in, to be quite honest, though, as well, for both sides. It will give Jonty Gawley a fantastic look into probably his strongest side that he's got, in all honesty. I know for a fact that they haven't come down with any sort of trialists, although you're not allowed to technically play with any of them. They haven't come down with any at all. It's a cup competition, yes, but it's one that we take very seriously. and that just goes to show there with such a huge and emphatic scoreline. Commiserations though to the Royal Navy. They've played very, very well, but it is Town that will go on to face the Leigh Leopards in a fortnight's time, so at the Fibrous Community Stadium.
Well, both sides just making their way off and getting a round of applause too. And this will be the last we see of the Royal Navy Rugby League team until the summer. That is it for all three teams in the Challenge Cup this year. The Army, RAF and Royal Navy all out at this stage. And we will see them again in services in September, and I'm sure we'll be working at bringing that live for you too. One thing we are looking forward to live though, less muddy than this, will be the netball on Wednesday, which I think we'll get a special look at again before we end the live stream this afternoon. But it has not been the Navy's day, it's certainly been Workington's day. They go through to round 3. Thank you for joining me, Callum, and we will be back with more live sport on Wednesday with international netball. Thank you, good afternoon.